Hello racing fans and a warm welcome to Trackside, proudly brought to you by World Sports Betting. Bet with the best, bet with WSB. Well, trust that everybody is fine as always, and hopefully you had a fair week punting. And this weekend, well, it's bumper action, and it is the feature race day at Greyville on Saturday, of course, featuring the two big ones, the main events for the 3-year-olds, the Daily News 2000 and the Will Havington 2000, and the supporting feature is the Stayers race, the Lonsdale Stirrup Cup. There is racing at the Big T on Turfentine on Sunday, but because it's feature race now and everything moves over to KZN for champion season with lots of high-class action, we are going to concentrate on the Saturday's card. So I had a good look at Saturday's card. It's 10 races. I think they got a Pick 6 carryover of R1 million as well. That estimated pool will be R5 million, and all the action will be at Greyville on Saturday. And that's a race meeting that we've had a look at, and we've picked out 4 horses to follow. So away we go with those 4 horses at Greyville on Saturday. And our day will begin early. It will begin in race number 2, and this horse called Ensuing from the Vaughan Marshall stable debuted in Cape Town, and you can see on that debut finishing somewhere behind, close to 8 lengths back in that field over 1200 meters, and it was an outsider as well. But that replay of that race, if you watch it, doesn't so if you watch that race, but you need to watch the replay, it doesn't tell a full story, because this horse was very dumb and very green, was certain to come on with that run. They didn't give him another run in Cape Town, and they brought him to KZN, and he debuted in April. The exact date was 14th of April, and he found solid bidding support that day. And I remember trainer Vaughan Marshall was quietly confident that he can pull it off first time in the province as well. He went off as the even money favorite, and there were excuses. He was reported lame, short ride 4, and he finished 5th. He wasn't too far behind the winner, in with a chance. That run was on the poly track as well, and he's obviously a horse that I feel, having watched him on the poly, now fair enough, there were excuses with regards to his, him being reported lame, but I think now, back on the turf, drawn one, they've gone with the blinkers. The distance was not going to be any issue at all. If anything, it's going to suit him much better than the 1400 meter trip last time out. I can tell you that he's been in the noms a few times, and he hasn't taken his place because he's had poor draws. So Vaughan Marshall has clacked the plum draw here of 1. And now with Anton Marcus not riding, well, he's got a very informed jockey. Grant Fanikak is riding so well, and he gets the chance here on number 1, Ensuing. So we're hoping that he's not too green around the Greyville turn. From draw 1, you can just place him wherever you want to, and we'll leave that to Grant. And I just think the fact that there was lots of confidence from the stable, the betting support was clear to see last time out, that run would have brought him on a ton, and hopefully he can get us off to a flying start and trackside with our 4 to follow, a race to number 1, Ensuing. Then I'm going to tip in the 2 features. We have to go with the 2 features because those are the main events, as I mentioned. And race number 6 is for the 3-year-old fillies, and it is the Will Havington 2000. It's for a stake of 750,000 rand. And I'm going to go for a very interesting runner here, a filly called Light of the Moon. And with a rating of 76, she was put to the test when the stable raced in the Oaks at a penultimate start, and that was the race of her career. She certainly ran the race of her career that day, and it was a clever tactical ride by Muziani, enterprising ride, you had to be said. He went to the front, he dictated, he tried to skip, and she led for 2,250 meters of the race. She was only caught the last furlong. She was beaten by an absolute star, the winner of the Triple Tiara in Rain in Holland, but she was certainly not disgraced. And you can see she punched way above her weight, and rightfully she was pushed up in the ratings as well. She now races off a 92. We know that Rain in Holland has since gone on to win the Group 2 Gerald Rosenberg Stakes, and this filly went on to show that, you know what, that run that she put up in the South African Oaks was certainly no fluke, and she won really well. A deserved favorite, a strong favorite last time out. She won at the Vaal Classic Tack over 2,400 meters, same tactics to the front, and she did it very, very easily. Now, from that form line, you saw midweek. If you missed racing midweek, I can tell you that fifth in that race, around 8 lengths back, was a certain Snow Palace that came through to win midweek at Greyville. So that form line's looking good from her last start. And when I looked at this field, she wasn't one that I took lightly, because she was not entered in the Will Avington. Of course, after the unfortunate scratching of Rain in Holland, she was then supplemented, and I think it could be a very, very smart move from the stable. They are supplementing this filly who's got the credentials to not just make up the numbers in this field and not just make up the field, but to really compete, because this course is going to suit her perfectly. She is now a front runner. Now that they've changed tactics with her, she didn't show so much a pace and speed prior to her last 2 starts, but something has happened. Muzieni has seen that she's got early pace and speed. Why not use it? And from draw 4, I can just see this filly jumping out, because there is, whilst there are some runners that show pace, that show early pace, I think there's none going to match her for that early pace and speed. So I expect her to be in front. And the fact that she gets 2,450 meters, she's not going to be coming up for air when they turn into the short Greyville straight. She's going to be running all the way to the line. And I think it's a smart move for Byron Portis to enter her in this field, or supplement her in this field. And when I had a look at the World Sports Betting pricing, anti-post, and then when the final field was declared, she's currently trading at around 7-1, and I feel that's generous odds about the filly, because she has run close up to Rain in Holland, would have been deep in the red to win this race prior to her scratching. So, number 4, Light of the Moon, some tremendous value, I think, here in race number 6. Then we move along to the Daily News 2000, and this we'll call the main event. This is over 2,000 meters. It's for a stake of 1 million rand, and you could say that this is, some of the best of the 3-year-olds that will be taking their place in this race. The race has lost a bit of gloss with the scratching of Double Superlative, who I would have definitely be tipping as my top choice, but we're now going for Pomp and Power, the stable companion, a Group 1 winner down in Cape Town. We saw him win the Cape Derby, and he won it in fantastic style, showing his class. And he's beaten the best of the best in Cape Town. No doubt about that. He is arguably one of the better 3-year-olds coming out of Cape Town, although Double Superlative will not take his place in the Daily News. And of course, the July this year, he's the highest rated 3-year-old in the country, but he's no more now. This horse, Pomp and Power's first start here in the province was in the Guineas, and he overcame the draw 10 out of 14, raced him up handy. Richard Fourie gave him a confident ride, and he wasn't tiring. He was fighting all the way to the line, and you could see maybe he would have just needed that run as well. And it's over a distance that I feel is short of his best. 2,000 meters, and maybe plus is going to be what's going to suit him much better. Number 1, Pomp and Power. Now, he is the best, or one of the best, out of Cape Town, and he's taking the 3 of the best runners from Gauteng. I say the 3 of the best because we got the World Sports Betting Guineas winner in the field, who is Safe Passage, the World Sports Betting Classic winner in the field, who's Red Saxon, and the World Sports Betting Derby winner in the field, who is Aragosta. So he's taking on the cream that's coming down from Gauteng, and it'll be interesting to see how you compare and match the form on the day. Pomp and Power versus the Guineas Classic and the Derby winner here. So we'll see how he goes here against this type of field. How you see the race is going to be run? Well, it's clear for me to see. The way he raced last time out when he overcame the draw, he's drawn pole position now. I can just see Richard Fourie jumping him out, having him favorably positioned, turning to the straight. And if that last start has brought him on, well, he will be a hard horse to beat. Very interesting that he is the ruling anti-post Durban July favorite, and he's a strong one at that, if the betting is to be a guide, because he's around 5-1 in World Sports Betting, and the next best in the betting market is 10 to 1. So he's half the odds of the next best in the betting market. And if you compare his odds for this race, well, he's 9 to 10 on World Sports Betting at the time of recording the show, which is, just to the latter part of the week. And a horse like Safe Passage is 12 to 1. Red Saxon is 55 to 1. And this horse Aragos is 20 to 1. For the July. So if you're going to compare these odds to what they got him for the July, then he'll have to win this and win this well. He'll have to win against these 3-year-olds very well to justify the price that they got him for the Durban July at this stage, which is around 5 to 1. But all said and done, he's the right horse in the race. I'm expecting him to win, and hopefully he wins well and confirms that he's a 5 to 1 shot for this year's Durban July. Then we move along to our last of our 4 horses, and that comes up in race number 8, and this is a merit-rated 97 handicap over 1200 meters. And I'm going for a horse that certainly caught the eye and the imagination quite early in his career, because he's a striking grey. He's actually a white horse this after the rain. He won 4 on the bounce, which included 3 over 1200 meters. Then they stretched him over a mile. What a ride by Samanga Kumala that day, start to finish at Greyville. Then they decided, well, let's go to Cape Town and maybe try and campaign with him there. His first run was an excellent run behind Look for Hounds. Look for Hounds has since been a subsequent winner. And it wasn't a plan of trainer Garrett van Zyl to race him in the Queen's Plate. But when he cracked a good draw, the owners twisted his arm and said, well, we like a runner in one of the most prestigious races in the country, the Lomaran's Queen's Plate. And he took his chance there. He was way, out when you have a look at the quality that he took on. But again, he said his fractions up front, he ran to a point, and then he faded tamely in the running. But it was just an experiment and something for the owners to cheer home about, that they had a runner in the Lomaran's Queen's Plate. Well, he's back in the province. He's back over his favorite distance, and he's back at a course that suits him fine, because he is a strong front runner. And the way he races, just the manner in which he races, I can see him going to the front and, just stealing the race at around the 600-meter mark. He's got so much of early pace and speed, this horse. He can win his race in the first 600 meters. And then when they turn into the straight, if he's got a sizable lead, he looks very difficult to catch when he is on song. I say when he's on song because he is coming off a break. He has been campaigning in Cape Town, so there will be a few question marks with regards to his fitness, his well-being, how ready he is. And of course, Anton Marcus is not riding him, so we wait for a jockey change as well. But I'm just hoping that everything is going according to plan with his preparation, etc. And if he brings his A game to the track against this type of field, whilst there's lots of form to work around, he's the fastest horse in the race when the starter says go. So from draw 4, whoever's going to be riding him is going to have an easy lead coming into the final 400 meters, and hopefully he can be running all the way to the line. So that is after the rain in race number 4. Right, that is a wrap. We've given you 4 horses. There'll be 2 trebles up on the World Sports Betting menu. We're going with Ensuing, Light of the Moon, Pomp and Power, and After the Rain. Those will be the big 4 to follow on trackside, and I trust that you're going to have a wonderful weekend. There is great racing to look forward to coming to from Greyville, and of course on Sunday, if you want to have a go, you can have a go at Turfentine. As always, on behalf of World Sports Betting, the sponsor of Trackside, thanks to all the customers and all the punters, but more importantly to you for your continued support as the valued punter. And until we meet again, you have an awesome weekend. Find all the winners, hopefully make a sizable profit as well. Salaniga.